Ultra Access, Scaffold Technical Support.
Hello, this is Jason at Ultra Access. Now I wanted to speak today about cash flow and why they say cash is king, but from a business point of view, cash flow is king. Now it doesn't matter how operationally solid and robust your company is, which is obviously what I specialise in. My expertise are in the operational side of the scaffolding industry, not so much finance, but yeah, I mean, you could have the best operational setup going, and if you haven't got the cash flow and you haven't got the right terms and conditions and you haven't got the right setup with regards to invoicing, payment applications for big jobs, stuff like that, then you are going to be in a lot of trouble at some point. I mean, all it takes is no matter how good your clients are, you know, how much of a good relationship you've got with them, all it takes is one of them to miss a payment, or to not pay you at all, and that could have a devastating effect, knock-on effect, if you haven't got the cash flow to cover your basic bills. So ultimately, cash flow is king. It's one of the most important aspects within any successful business, especially in scaffolding, because you do find this race to the bottom, which is, unfortunately, it's everywhere at the moment, where you're constantly and continuously forced and pressed downwards, and your prices are pushed downwards, you know, until you're making very little profit. So you need to make sure, definitely before you make sort of steps to start progressing your business, and start investing in better training for your people, better kit, more materials, better lorries, more staff. You need to make sure that you've got a robust cash flow system set up. Now, something that potentially I could help with in Ultra Access is, I know some very, very good people who specialise in getting cash flow for businesses. So that's something I could potentially help with if somebody wants to sort of have a chat off the back of this video. But the most important thing is to make sure that you've got enough money in the bank to cover at least 6 months worth of bills. Now that's everything from the wages for the boys. I mean, they're going to be paid weekly, I assume, for the most part, maybe every 2 weeks, possibly. For the most part, you pay your scaffolders every week, every Friday. So you need to have 6 months worth of wages, money for the wages in the bank. You also need to make sure when you start looking at expanding your business, taking on bigger jobs, employing more men, that you've actually got the cash flow, that cash flow extends to that many people. You know, very, very important. You also need to make sure, if you're hiring materials, you've got the money to pay the hire bill, especially if you've got a big job up on hire and it's up for several more months and you haven't got the right payment terms and your client is not looking to help you. You know, if you sign that contract and they're kind of holding you to it, that could cause a lot of problems, because potentially you may have to take that scaffold down, and that leads to reputational damage within the industry as well. So yeah, I'll keep this one short. Ultimately, you need 6 months worth of money in the bank, as it was, at the level you're at. And you need to make sure that as you progress and you expand your scaffold company from, say, 10 scaffolders to 15 to 20, and you build it up, you start doing them bigger, more commercial jobs. You go from doing sort of fronts, backs and domestic sort of works to bigger blocks, commercial work if you're a street work company. Or if you do new builds, you go from sort of like plots of 10 to plots of 20, so on and so forth. You need to make sure you've got at least 6 months worth of money in the bank to cover all your expenses, because there is a potential, even if you've got decent payment terms set up, say 30 days, there is a potential that could stretch to 45 days, even as far as 60 days, depending on when the invoice goes in and when they decide to pay the invoice. So yeah, just as a little bit of advice from myself, Jason at Ultra Access, if you are looking to build a robust company, doesn't matter how well the rest of your setup is, how good operationally you are, if you haven't got the cash flow, you're going to be in a lot of trouble and you're leaving yourself wide open. So yeah, if you did need any people to speak to with regards to helping with cash flow. If you wanted to look at any loans and that sort of stuff, I've got a massive network of different people. Hire and sales, if you're looking to hire or buy any scaffolding equipment, I know people that can help. So yeah, but this was mainly about cash flow basically, fellas. So hope you all have a good day. It's Jason at Ultra Access, and I'll catch you on the next one.
Ultra Access, Scaffold Technical Support. Proudly supporting the British scaffolding industry. With a selection of our services including guidance and advice publications, scaffold estimations, technical training and development, scaffolding inspections and compliance audits, scaffolding vlogs and videos, and UK-wide scaffolding consultancy services. Ultra Access, Scaffold Technical Support.